Hi, I'm Diana Davison. I'm an advocate for the falsely accused and wrongfully convicted. I started a nonprofit so long ago, I hardly remember, but it's been at least 7 years. And I've been advocating for people in that situation, which is a growing phenomenon, and struggling to figure out how to best address the problem, given some of the changes in our society about how the accused people, when you're dealing with cases of sexual assault, are essentially demonized, and their presumption of innocence is largely undermined when they go to court. I have since joined a law firm, Neuberger and Partners, where I've been doing incredible work with Joseph Neuberger, and we've been very successful. I am looking at how to share that success with other people who don't have access to us or live in a different province or a different country. And I think talking about these issues is extremely important. I know it's difficult for people who are falsely accused to try and connect with other people who've also been falsely accused, because there's this fear that you might end up connecting yourself with somebody who's actually guilty. Whereas, as I've expressed with other people, when you're a complainant who's even found in court to have lied, there's no similar stigma for them. These people are still celebrated as heroic people, even though they were provably caught lying in court. So there's a real imbalance in how we address these types of allegations in terms of assessing how to approach the problem of the fact that people do lie. I'm just say women, people, because there are male complainants, people do lie about sexual assault. Sometimes it's intentional, and sometimes it's because they have honest belief in this thing having happened to them, although they're mistaken. But the reality is, for an accused person, it is life altering, and the trauma that an accused person goes through is completely denied. It's not even considered relevant. And there are a number of problems when you get into the work on the level that I'm doing now, working for this law firm and seeing cases that come out, appeals that are denied that should have been, I think, should have been granted. It becomes extremely distressing to see the state where we're at, to the point that I have actually wondered, do we even care about wrongful convictions anymore? I think that's a serious thing to address, because what we're seeing right now in our courts in Canada, at least, is that there's a big emphasis on needing to do better for showing that we care about victims of sexual assault. And there's no reason to think that somebody who advocates for and defends people who are accused of sexual assault don't care about real victims. The problem is that not every complainant is a victim. And, you can see the problem from the beginning, in which these complainants are always referred to as victims right off the top. That is an absolute reversal of the presumption of innocence. And it is so important for people. And what I try to say to people is that you need to understand you're not alone. There are so many people who are not just victims of false allegations, but are connected to, related to, intimately involved with people who they know to be falsely accused, who have to go through this trauma. And it is traumatic for people. And, there's a bunch of other things that are involved. And I'm looking forward to working with other groups on this. I've been doing as much as I can, but it's important for us to all connect and all put our resources together to not just see these things, but to make sure that these things get to Parliament and these things make a difference. And the advocacy groups who are so well funded, who are making legislation that make trials difficult for the accused person to get a fair trial, they're very well funded. And I've never done this ever for money. I actually don't I've used all the money that I've brought in to try and travel to places and actually advocate for people through my nonprofit. None of us who are in this are really in it for money. There's no money to be made in helping men, really. You want to make money, get into the other side, right? Go and make $1 million, which they do, advocating for the complainants. And nothing that they say is ever going to be challenged because, who wouldn't support women? But the reality is this has gone way too askew. And it is very important for us to unite and for us to be very smart about the limited funds that can come in through the people who actually have experienced this and have the ability to contribute. Because unfortunately, a lot of people who are falsely accused just don't have the resources, and they end up being wrongfully convicted because they don't have the resources to defend themselves. So this is my message to you. I started doing this nonprofit. I'm doing the best I can to maintain it. There are other people out there who are doing some great work as well. And I want to talk about and share that information as much as I can. I've been off social media for a long time because of the work I'm doing at the law firm, and it's very demanding, but it's so rewarding because I started this out not really completely understanding. I'm not a lawyer, and so I've had the absolute privilege of being able to be involved in a law firm, and I know so much more, and I want to share that knowledge with you, and I want to make our activism as effective as possible, because this has been going on for decades and we can't afford to waste time anymore. We need to figure out how to make our advocacy effective. And the reality is that we've spent hundreds of years learning how to not burn people at the stake and learning how to not engage in trials by fire or whatever, giving people an actual developing the system we have. We should be proud of it, and we can be proud of it, but it's going backwards right now, and we need to be very vigilant right now to restore the order of law, because vigilante justice is not legal, and our system is now turning into a legalized form of vigilante justice. So that's my message to you right now, and I hope that everybody who has passion for this, it becomes depressing sometimes, but keep your passion up, because there is nothing more important than preserving the rule of law and ensuring that people get fair trials. And we need to continue noticing and caring about and advocating for people who've been wrongfully convicted.